And the thing that is most problematic about this whole thing, and we've talked about it, this is what I'm teeing up for both of you guys. No one else in the frickin' room said a damn thing. Nobody
Yes.
challenged Carolyn Levitt. Nobody said that was inappropriate. Nobody came to the defense of a colleague. And I just find that absolutely disgraceful. I tee it up to you
Well,
guys.
that's a wonderful issue we're going to talk about, but we're going to take a quick break, and then Nolan, I'll tee it up to you when we come back. That's where we're going next with this. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's wonderful view of the press and what they're doing against the press this week. So stick around. We're going to tackle the commercial break that we need to, and then we'll be right back. Coming back in 3, 2, 1. Hi, we're back. It's Just Ask the Press. I'm your host, Brian Karem. With me today, as always, Mark Zaid, and joining us this week, Nolan Higdon. And Nolan, when we left, Mark had teed up ever so appropriately what has gone on in the White House press briefing room this week when a reporter asked, it was just a very, and to me, it wasn't even that bad of a question. I mean, it was a pretty basic question about Donald Trump and dealing with issues with ICE, and instead, the one that I remember was the comment I remembered coming out of the presidential PEP secretary, Caroline Levitt, was, "Shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist." A lot came to my mind after spending many years in that room, and I'll get to it after I let you guys go. But Nolan, what were your thoughts when you heard and saw that?
Well, one of the first things that sort of came to mind, right, is basically the question is getting at a question of due process and investigation, right? Like, why was there not due process? Why don't we have transparency? And I think that speaks to how the culture has largely sort of started to believe in the last few decades that due process and investigations benefit the guilty, when in fact they actually exist to protect the innocent. And I would also argue they protect ICE agents as well. When people feel like there's a transparent process and it's fair, they're more likely to entrust it. When they think it's unfair, that's when people act out illegally, and we get more of the violence and doxing and things that Mark was talking about. But from the press angle, you could talk about this as an insider, obviously, Brian, but kind of watching it historically, I think this has always been an issue for the press, certainly dating back to the Nixon years, is that when they're attacked as a group, they don't have sort of a collective way to respond. And you can kind of pick off agencies one by one or journalists one by one in a lot of cases. And Nixon was famous for doing that when he moved him out of the White House with the press room. The Bush administration was famous for who they called on to do that. And I think that's something that the press really desperately, certainly in the last decade, it's been shown the press needs to do that. Think of collective ways to respond. I know in the first Trump administration, they wouldn't allow Trump to ignore one journalist and move on to the next. Remember, they would just all stay silent until he'd answer the question. I think more of that type behavior is needed. Otherwise, he's going to continue to, pick up these outlets one by one like this.